Let me tell you something nobody says out loud. You are probably going to run out of money before you die. I know, that's harsh, but hear me out. Most people spend 40 years working, 40 hours a week, saving what they can, doing everything they were told, and then they hit 65 and realize something terrifying. Their money isn't going to last. Not because they were lazy, not because they bought too much coffee, but because nobody actually taught them the real rules of retirement, the rules that actually keep you safe, the rules that let you sleep at night without doing mental math at 2 a.m., wondering if you'll outlive your savings. And here's the scariest part. The average American lives into their mid-80s. That means if you retire at 65, you need your money to last 20 plus years. 20 years of groceries, medical bills, inflation, and the unexpected. Most retirement plans aren't built for that. Most people don't even know theirs isn't. Today, I'm giving you 6 retirement rules you must follow if you never want to worry about money again. These aren't complicated, they aren't get-rich-quick schemes, they're just the boring, non-negotiable rules that separate people who retire peacefully from people who retire stressed. Let's go. Rule number 1, stop trusting the set-it-and-forget-it lie. Your 401k statement comes every quarter. You see the balance going up, you feel good. You close the envelope and move on. That's exactly what the system wants you to do. Here's what nobody tells you. Most target date funds, the ones that automatically shift from stocks to bonds as you age, have hidden fees that eat up literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. They're convenient, they're marketed as hands-off, and they're quietly expensive. Let me give you an example. 2 people save the exact same amount for 30 years, same contributions, same market returns, but one pays 1.5% in fees, the other pays 0.1% in fees. The difference? $300,000. $300,000 for doing nothing different except paying attention. And it gets worse. Most people don't even know what they're paying. The fees aren't on the front page. They're buried in documents called expense ratios, wrapped in fine print. The financial industry counts on you not reading them. I'm not saying you need to become a Wall Street trader. I'm saying you need to look at your fees once a year. That's it. 1 hour, 12 months of peace. If you don't know what you're paying in fees right now, pause this video, go check your last statement, look for the term expense ratio. Come back, I'll wait. Most people never do this. That's why most people retire with less money than they earned. Don't be most people. Rule number 2, you must know your number, but not the number you think. Every finance expert tells you to save $1 million or $2 million or 25 times your annual spending. That's fine advice in a vacuum, but it misses the most important calculation. The number that matters most is your monthly fixed overhead. Let me explain. If your rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, utilities, and minimum debt payments add up to $4,000 a month, you need $12,000 in the bank just to survive 3 months. You need $48,000 to survive a year. That's before food, before gas, before anything fun. Here's why this matters for retirement. Most people calculate their retirement number based on their current income. That's wrong. You need to calculate based on your current fixed overhead. Because here's the truth. In retirement, your income drops, but your fixed overhead doesn't automatically drop with it. If you still have a mortgage at 65, you still have a mortgage payment. If you still have car payments, you still have car payments. If you still have debt, you still have debt. And here's a fact that most retirement calculators ignore completely: healthcare. The average retired couple spends over $300,000 on healthcare after 65, according to multiple financial research firms. If your plan doesn't include a healthcare budget line, it's already broken. So here's the rule. Every year on your birthday, you calculate your monthly fixed overhead. Include your mortgage or rent, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, and a healthcare estimate. Then ask yourself one question. If I retired today, how long would my savings last at this burn rate? If the answer scares you, you have work to do. Most people never do this calculation. They just guess. And guessing is how you end up stressed at 70. Don't guess. Know. Rule number 3. The 4% rule is dead. Stop using it. For those who don't know, the 4% rule says you can withdraw 4% of your retirement savings and never run out of money. It's been the gold standard of retirement advice for 30 years, and it's dangerously outdated. That rule was invented in the 1990s when interest rates were different, when people lived shorter lives, when healthcare costs were a fraction of what they are today, when the stock market's volatility looked nothing like what we've experienced in the last decade. Here's what actually works now. You need 2 buckets of money, not 1. Bucket 1 is cash and very safe investments, enough to cover 2 to 3 years of your living expenses. This is your don't worry about the market money. This is your stability layer. Bucket 2 is everything else. Stocks, growth investments, diversified funds, the things that go up and down but trend upward over time. Here's how it works in real life. The stock market crashes tomorrow. Your bucket 2 drops by 30%. You don't care because your bucket 1 has 2 years of cash. You don't need to sell anything. You just wait. When the market recovers, and historically it always has, you refill bucket 1 and keep living. The reason this works isn't mathematical, it's psychological. Most retirement failures happen not because the math was wrong, but because people panicked. They saw their portfolio drop and they sold. They locked in losses that time would have healed. The 2-bucket system removes panic from the equation. You're not watching your money disappear, you're watching the market take a temporary dip while your daily life stays untouched. Set this up now, not when you're 63 and 3 months from retirement.
Rule number 4. Every 5 years, you must kill one big monthly expense. Not a small one, a big one. Here's what I mean. Most people's expenses grow with their income. You get a raise, you get a nicer apartment. You pay off your car, you buy a newer car. You finish student loans, you take a bigger vacation. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent killer of retirement. Your lifestyle inflates, and your retirement number inflates with it. So even as your income goes up, you never feel like you're getting ahead because you're not. The quietly wealthy do the opposite. Every 5 years, they remove one major fixed cost from their life completely. Pay off your car? Don't buy another one on credit. Drive that car for 5 more years. Pay off your student loans, that monthly payment becomes an investment payment instead. Same amount, different destination. Your kids move out? Downsize the house. Don't keep the extra bedrooms to justify a bigger mortgage. Every time you kill a big expense, 2 things happen. First, your monthly fixed overhead drops. Remember Rule 2? That means you need less money to retire. The finish line gets closer without you running any faster. Second, the money you were spending automatically gets redirected. You don't even feel it because you were already living without it. Here's a real example. Someone kills a $500 car payment and doesn't replace it. That's $6,000 a year. Invested for 10 years at 7% returns, a conservative estimate based on historical stock market averages, that's over $80,000 from one decision to not buy a car you didn't need. And here's the bonus rule within the rule. Every time you get a raise, live on the old income permanently. Direct 100% of every raise to retirement accounts before it touches your checking account. Most people will never even miss money they never saw. Most people can't imagine not upgrading their lifestyle with every raise or paid off debt. That's exactly why most people retire stressed. What's one big expense you can kill in the next 12 months? Write it down. Seriously, pause and write it. Rule number 5, you must automate your retirement savings before you feel the money. This is the most important rule on this list and the simplest. Here's what most people do. They get paid, they pay bills, they spend, and whatever's left at the end of the month, they try to save. That's backwards. Here's what quietly wealthy people do. They get paid, and automatic transfer moves 15 to 20% to investments immediately. Then they pay bills. Then they spend what's left. You cannot out-willpower your own brain. If money hits your checking account, your brain thinks it's available to spend. That's not a character flaw, that's science. Decades of behavioral economics research show that humans are wired for present bias. We dramatically overvalue today over tomorrow. Your brain will always find a reason to spend the money sitting in front of it. The solution is to remove the choice entirely. Set up an automatic transfer on payday. Start with 5% if 20% feels impossible. Increase by 1% every single month until you hit 20.
1% is so small you'll almost never feel it, but 12 months later, you're saving 12%, and you never went through the drama of a big lifestyle change. Here's what happens when you do this. You never feel the money leaving because you never see it in your checking account. You never have to decide to save because the decision is already made. You never feel deprived because you're spending what's left, not what you wish you had. Here's a real example. Someone who set up automatic transfers at 22 years old, just 10%, nothing fancy, had over $100,000 by 32, without thinking about it, without feeling poor, without any dramatic lifestyle changes. She just automated her future self into being wealthy. That same math works for you, but only if you set it up today. Pause this video, open your bank app, set up the transfer, then come back and comment the word "done." I'll wait. Rule number 6. You must know when enough is enough. This is the rule nobody talks about, because it's not about math, it's about psychology. Most people spend their entire lives chasing more money, more safety, more cushion, and they never feel secure because there's always someone richer, always a bigger number. The goalpost keeps moving and you keep running, and you never stop to notice that you already crossed it. There's actually a term for this in behavioral psychology. It's called the hedonic treadmill. Your happiness level returns to a baseline no matter how much your financial situation improves. More money doesn't equal more peace if you haven't defined what enough actually looks like. So here's how you define it. Calculate your monthly fixed overhead. Multiply it by 300. That's your number. If your monthly fixed overhead is $4,000, times 300 is $1.2 million. Why 300? Because that's 25 years of expenses. If you retire at 65, 25 years takes you to 90, and $1.2 million invested at 4% returns gives you $48,000 a year without ever touching the principal. That's enough. Anything beyond that is a bonus, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with continuing to save and grow past that point. But you should know when you've already won. Most people don't. They hit the number and keep grinding as if they haven't, because nobody told them they were already there. Once you know your number and you hit it, every extra dollar is gravy. You've won the game. Now you can start choosing whether you work because you want to, not because you have to. That shift from working for survival to working for purpose is worth more than any investment return. Most people never define their number, so they never feel secure. They just keep grinding, keep stressing, keep feeling behind. Know your number, and when you hit it, breathe. Here's why these 6 rules matter more than any investment tip or stock pick. The wealth gap isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep, and it's about whether you can stop worrying before you run out of time. Most people retire broke not because they made bad investments. They retire broke because they followed bad rules or no rules at all. They trusted set it and forget it without checking fees. They never calculated their real number or forgot to include healthcare. They kept all their money in one bucket and panicked at every market dip. They let their expenses and lifestyle grow faster than their savings. They tried to out-willpower their brain instead of automating good decisions. They never defined what enough looked like, so they never felt like they had it. These 6 rules fix all of that. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be rich yet. You just need to start with one rule today. Master it for 30 days, then add another. In 1 year, you won't recognize your retirement outlook. I'm Olivia Finance. If you want to retire without worrying about money, subscribe, because most retirement advice is designed to keep you confused, dependent, and paying someone else to manage your future. And you're clearly not here for that. Which rule will you start with today? Tell me in the comments.